My name is Mateus Lima. I'm from São Paulo. I'm 21, and I started working here in Abraço Cultural. It has been 2 weeks, so I'm like new here, but I've known the project like for more than 2 years. And I get to know Abraço Cultural because I still work in another organization called ADUS, that is an organization that hopes to integrate the refugees here in São Paulo throughout Portuguese classes and helps them find a job. I started working there because I'm a recent journalist graduated and I want to be a war journalist. And when I was at university, I was like rehearsing about refugees and stuff because I saw the tendency were happening and a lot of people moving out of their countries to other places. And while I was rehearsing about this matter, I realized that I wasn't doing anything about it. I was like, I'm only seeing what happens, but I'm not changing anything. And I want to be a war journalist because I want to show people how to make a change. And then I was like, how can I apply this to myself, not to the people that I want to impact? And then I searched for the NGO and started working there as a volunteer. And I'm there like for 2 years now. And I started like talking to refugees and doing like the first contact, the NGO with the refugees, asking them what is their need, how can we help. And this was like a breaking point for me because I was like, oh, this is the first time that I'm being the protagonist of helping someone. It doesn't mean that it's like a big help, but it's the help that I can get to this person right now. I can get like, I can do the best that I can to help this guy, you know? He's like, he wants to do a Portuguese class and I have the thing to help him. And this kind of motivated me to keep doing this, and it kind of changed my mind about my career. I still want to be a war journalist, but I'm satisfied where I am. I'm doing something great and I'm not receiving any money, but in a spiritual way, it's like I found a job for my life, you know? It's like I've always been searching for this job, and every day that I'm there, I'm super happy, and I get to know that in some way I'm helping this person. And when I saw the refugee 2 years from now, and I see that he has a job, he's speaking like a perfect Portuguese, I was like, it was a little help for me that day that like changed this people's life, you know? It wasn't a big help, but it was like a step for this person to get the independency that they need. And that's what the most thing that I learned working as a volunteer in ADUS and now as an employee in Abraço Cultural. I work here as a coordinator of the NGO, so I kind of do the organization of I help the teachers to make the classes and helps to call more students to participate in the classes and make phone calls to students. Oh, you're going to participate in this class. We started like 2 weeks from now. We will be able to participate. I do this kind of public relations, this PR here, and interviews, and made contacts with companies because we have classes. It's called in company. The teacher goes to the company to have classes in the work environment, and we also respond emails, a lot of emails, because there's a lot of people wanting to know about our work, and it's kind of like also teaching people about what we do and the refugee status here in Brazil, because a lot of people contact us to know about, oh, how many refugees does Brazil receives? Do you work only with Syrian refugees? Then we have to explain, no, Brazil receives a lot of refugees from all the nations. We have like 10,000 refugees recognized here in Brazil, and about 3,000 in, I don't know how to say in English, but we have like, they're in the process of being recognized as a refugee. Okay. So there's a lot of refugees here in Brazil, and these are the ones we are counting. when I was a kid, I wanted to be in the FBI. But then someone said to me that only Americans can go to the FBI. I was like, oh my God, no, I really want to be the FBI. But I changed my mind, but I still had the essence of the thought that I wanted to do something to help the society, something that would make an impact. And I kept thinking, oh, I want to be a journalist because then I can inform people about what's happening to the world. And when I started to study journalism, I realized, oh, I can do the help, but it's not the way I was thinking it will happen. So I have to do something more than that. I don't want just to inform people about what's happening. I want to be the agent of the change, you know? I was like, so what do I do now? How can I be the agent of the change? But no, I don't want to be the protagonist of the change. I just want to be a part of the change, you know? And when I realized that I didn't need to be the protagonist, but I just wanted to be a part of the change, that like changed my mind, because I started to be a selfish, you know? Because all the time I was like thinking about myself, oh, my career, I want to be a war journalist, I want to be the greatest, I want to be. But then when I started doing volunteer work, I was like, oh, I'm satisfied here. I'm not the greatest, I'm not the symbol, I'm not anything, but I'm here, I'm helping. And that's it. That's what I want. Why should I want more than this? Why should I be more greater? This is good, I'm helping. It doesn't need anything else. Well, as I was saying, I want to be a war journalist. When I decided to be a war journalist, I wanted to be in the side of war, in the front line. I wanted to be where the war was happening. But then when I started to researching and saw the refugee crisis, I was like, no, I don't want to be in the front line. I want to talk about the people that are suffering, the people that are fighting different battles like for food, battles for like a decent house, a government that doesn't work. It's not about the guns or the killing. It's about what the killing impacts in their society. And I want to show that war do this to people. People leave their country because of war, and I don't want to be at the war. I want to show the people that are leaving their houses because some government are like fighting with each other. Some people are fighting with each other for no reason, for pitiful meanings, you know? I changed my mind when I started to do the volunteer work, because while I was talking to the refugees, I realized that the war, it has no meaning. It's only like to spread blood across the world, you know? Why do they do that, you know? It's just for get money, just for the money of war, you know? They got a lot of money from different countries, countries that financed some other rebel groups to get guns, and then they kill themselves, and then the war keeps like being extended for a period that shouldn't be in this time of period, you know? The war usually is like 2 years, but then with the help of other countries, it lasts 10 years, like Syria. Syria war should have ended like for ages now, but still continues. There's still blood, there's still people fleeing, and until when? I want to talk about these people that are fleeing, and if they like to go back to their country. When I started working with doing volunteer work with refugees, I realized that I love meeting new people, and not just because they are from different countries, but I love a different life, a different experience, and I love that these people want to share. Because one thing that I realized while I was working in the NGO is that sometimes people just want to be heard, and maybe I can fix his problem in the moment, but I'm there for him to listen his problem. And I realized that I love doing this throughout my life, all day, 24 hours a day. If someone wants to talk to me about something, like, no, go ahead, please, I'm your ears. Do feel free to talk about anything you want. And after I started working in the NGO, my communication like jumped. Like I started to be more humble with people and talking about more stuff, and I kind of like raise some bit of my selfishness. I'm still selfish, you know. It's impossible to not be selfish, but I think like I'm like I do I don't know this word in English, like I'm looking in different ways to other people, you know. I kind of looking in the eye now, in a way that I didn't look after before I went to the NGO. I was looking in your eye, but I wasn't like seeing your soul. Like I didn't really wanted to know you, but now when I look at people like, oh my God, I want to know everything about you. Please tell me more. I'm so really interested in you and what in your ways. Like there's nothing you can say that is going to be something bad for me. Everything you can say is your culture, and I respect that. This is something that I learned with refugees. Every kind of culture must be respected. Even if it gets like it's so different from yours, it doesn't mean that it's bad for them. And I get to respect more different cultures, mostly because Brazil has a lot of cultures, so it's like a lot of barriers, like, you know, barriers. And when I started working in the NGO, I was like, my mind open for a lot of different things.
Angola, Angola, moça, a minha escatamata, me voara para Maria.